Hey guys, Megan here, and today I have a guest. This is Naomi.
Hi.
Yeah, Naomi's my cousin, and her channel is Naomi's Bookshelf, so go check her out. We will also be collabing on a video over there, so you'll want to check that out. But today, or for now, the video that we are doing is we are going to rank Jane Austen. So we're both like huge Janeites. We love
Yes.
Jane Austen. We grew up like calling each other Jane and Lizzie from Pride and Prejudice, and so yes, we love Jane Austen. We've read all her novels. We've read a couple of her novels together. Actually, a few more.
I think
than
three.
Three, yeah, or three, and then like two unfinished novels together.
Yeah.
So, yes, we love Jane Austen. So we thought we need to rank them too. So to preface all of that, we love all of these books.
Yes.
Yes. Even though we're saying negative things and we're saying this is my least favorite Jane Austen, it's still really good. Like we love them. So, yeah, let's jump right into it. We're gonna hold up our least favorites to begin with. So. Boom, boom, boom. Northanger Abbey.
Same for me.
We have the same least favorite. So,
Yeah.
would you like to go first explaining your reasons?
Sure. I find that a lot of the characters are underdeveloped, or the storyline is underdeveloped. I think it's a first novel, and you can kind of tell, but it's also very different from all of her other work because it's written so much before her other work. So I feel like that kind of throws me off. But I do think it's well done for a debut novel, especially since she wrote it when she was a teenager.
Yes.
So I like this one, but it's definitely my least favorite.
Yeah, and for me, the main character, Catherine, she's only 17, and she's so naive. And the last time we read it together, actually, I could not handle how naive she was, and how she was just walking into these stupid situations, and I was like, stop it, just be smart. I know you haven't had any life experience, and all you know is books, but like, ugh.
Yeah.
And General Tilney, I won't get into who he is, because if you don't know who he is, then I don't want to give spoilers, and if you do know who he is, then you know who he is. General Tilney is so dark, and there's just something really creepy about him, so I don't love him. And John Thorpe drives me crazy. He does not take no for an answer. He drives me nuts. He's a bully. He's selfish. I really don't like him.
I agree with that one.
Yeah, but I mean, I do love the story. I love Catherine's bookishness. I love how much, like, she is in a dream world, and she's excited about life, and she's excited to see new things. So yeah, that's our least favorite.
Yes.
Our second least favorites are
Ready?
Emma, the
Same again.
Yeah. So maybe I'll go first this time. So the thing about Emma is that I love like the movie adaptations and stage adaptations because they temper some of Mrs. Bates Miss Bates talking on and on, whereas in the book there's like whole pages of Miss Bates talking. So not my favorite. Another thing that really affects it for me is that this takes place in one location, and for some reason I love it when in Jane Austen novels they move around from location to location. I really like that. Also, the age difference between Emma and Mr. Knightley was kind of creepy. I don't love that. I know it was a different time, but it's still creepy. But overall, I love the characters, and I love how flawed Emma is. So, yeah.
For me, I know this is probably going to be controversial, but I don't like Knightley. I think he's too perfect. He's always right, and he's never wrong, and he's always patient. He's always kind. I'm like, can you have at least one flaw, please? But he has no flaws, so it's just very annoying to me about his flawlessness. I also don't like Knightley and Emma as a potential couple. I think it just isn't a smooth fit. I don't like how they work together in that way. I don't like them. I do, however, like the side characters. I think all of them are well worked. Their relationships are all well done. I love, like, Frank Churchill. I think he's very interesting. And Harriet Smith is always hilarious. But I feel like the leading couple is not my cup of tea. So, yeah, that's mine for Emma.
All right. Well, for the middle of the pack, our third least favorite, fourth favorites are...
Again.
Same again. And a lot of people are like, oh, Mansfield Park is my least favorite. I've heard that so many times, but it's not our least favorite. We read it together, and we got so much out of it. We loved it. So
we read it over like the space of 6 weeks, and it was just so engrossing. I guess I can just go.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't like Edward. I think he's Edmund.
Edmund,
always mess it up. I don't like Edmund. I think he's weak. I don't like him as a leader. I don't like as a lead man. I just don't think he's the greatest of Jane Austen's work, to say the least. And then I also I think it's a very slow-paced novel. It's very, like, a build-up is quite long, so I feel like that throws people off of it. And I don't like that, but it's also one of her biggest. I think it is her biggest.
Yeah, it's a chunker.
So it's different than her other ones in that way. Mm-hmm. I love Fanny, though. Her willpower and her character growth, just spot on. She might be my favorite Jane Austen hero. Not hero, heroine, but like,
and everybody's like, I hate Fanny Price. I hate Mansfield Park.
But we kind of went into like a study kind of thing. Like we studied it, and it was just so in depth and so engrossing. And Fanny was amazing. And then I also love the complex characters. That's what I wrote down.
Yes.
Complexity is king in this book. The characters are none of them are good or bad. They're all somewhere on the spectrum. And you can't really tell. And then there's the character growth. It's all really well done and very complex. So I really enjoy it.
For me, okay, so I'm the same way. I don't love Edmund. He is very easily swayed, and he seems almost like a little puppy sometimes. And, you know, you love a little puppy. That's so cute. But you don't really, like, respect a little puppy. So, yeah. Let's see. It's very slow-paced, like Naomi was saying. It's like, okay, like, let's get the train moving. But in a way, I like that because it's kind of like a slow burn. Like, there's so many great details to pick up along the way. I love Fanny's strength. She's so strong. She sticks to her convictions. She sticks to her beliefs, even when it would just be so much easier to just give in. Also, I love the Henry Crawford storyline. Yeah. It's so good. Like, I don't really love him as a character, but I love that whole storyline, what happens with him. So
I think it might be her best side character written arc.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
We're different.
We're different, finally. Maybe I'll go first this time. Sense and Sensibility. I always have loved this one, but when we read it like a year ago or a year and a half ago or something together, I didn't love it quite as much. So Edward and Eleanor's storyline is so underdeveloped in my opinion. It's like we just barely see them, and then we move on with the plot, and we don't see Edward as much. Colonel Brandon, another thing. Colonel Brandon is so much older than Marianne, so it's kind of creepy. Same issue with Emma, but I know it was a different time. I understand that, but still, it's a bit much. Okay, one thing that I love about this is the family relationships they have, like specifically the sister relationships with Eleanor and Marianne, and even Margaret and their mother. Like the family is so strong in this, and they're a family in hardship because their father has just died, so they really have to cling to each other. And I love Willoughby's storyline. It's so good. Like, it's same thing. I don't love Willoughby, but I love that storyline. So, yeah.
For me, it's Pride and Prejudice, which I feel like is treason. It's just, it's a great book. It's just not my top. It's just like, it's number 3. So, I feel like a lot more of it could be done with this, especially if it was done in multiple perspectives. I would love to see, like, the Colin storyline from a different perspective, like, or Charlotte's perspective of Rosings, and, like, all these different perspectives that are missing because we only follow Lizzie. And I guess it does portray, like, paint us with a view of a certain character, being Darcy, but I, like, and that does make the suspense better, but I wish there's more perspectives involved. I'd even love to see Caroline's perspective of, like, the ball and all those things. So that's one thing I feel like is lacking. I also feel like their side characters are kind of simple. Like, not simple, but, like, they're not very complex. A lot of the characters I could sum up in, like, 2 words, 3 words. Like, Collins could be bumbling idiot. Yeah. Like, Mary could be self-righteous pianist. Like, there's really not too many layers to the complexity with at least some of the side characters. I do think some of the side characters are well done, but for the whole, it's kind of lacking in some areas. 2 things I really love about this is Charlotte. I think a lot of people underestimate her. I think she's just such an interesting character, because so often in Jane's work, they're all, like, modernized. You know, like, oh, I don't need to marry, I can marry for love. And Charlotte's the only one of the time who's like, no, I need to marry to provide for myself. And so she's very much of that time, and her cunning is so incredible, and how she convinces her best friend's basically boyfriend to marry her very quickly.
Like, within an afternoon or something.
I'm in awe of that ability. And then also, I really think it's a great love story. I think it's a great love story between Darcy and Elizabeth. And I love that kind of, the center of it as well, and the development of their relationship. So, yeah. It's number 3, but I do really love this book, too.
Yeah, yeah. It's number 3. That's still...
It's on the pedestal. Okay?
We have
It's
all
on the podium.
Yeah. Okay, next one. These are different, too.
Yep.
Yeah, you go first this time.
So, Sensibility, I thought was my favorite. And I really love this one, too. I feel like, though, it has a lack of Marianne and Brandon, which you kind of are pushing towards each other. But I feel like there's a lack of a romantic aspect written in the book. And I mean, yes, the age is creepy.
Yeah.
But it's understandable if you look at it in time frame. But I just don't like how much... I feel like it'd be more understandable and more appreciated if it was better developed.
Yeah.
That side. I also... Oh, so now it's the 3 things I like, not the negatives.
Yeah.
I love the courage of Eleanor. I think she's very courageous in what she chooses to do and how she stands up for herself and how she defends her family and takes care of them and doesn't, like, cower away from it. She's always the one you can trust to have a cool head when anything goes down. Like, she's the one you can have complete faith in that she's going to work it out and solve the problem. So I really love that of her. I love the family aspect. I think it's very well done. I love how it's such a focus on family and the relationships there. And then the last thing is Edward. I really do love him. I think he's loyal to a fault, and he's a gullible puppy sometimes. But but the loyalty that he has is just really impressive to me. Even though he's in a really tough situation, I really do admire that loyalty. So I really like him, probably best out of all of Jane Austen's heroes, and I don't know why, aside from that fact. So I love him. So that's why it's second.
For me, it's Persuasion. Number 2 is Persuasion for me. I love Persuasion, and I've loved Persuasion since I was like 14 or 15. Like, even though it's about an older heroine, I just love it so much. So the one thing that always kind of niggled at me about this, I had to really think about to come up with a negative one for this, was that the way the ending happens, there's a letter involved, and I wanted that letter conversation to happen in person. I thought it would be more immediate and exciting if that happened, so that's like my one criticism. But then the scene immediately after this letter scene, then you have all that immediacy and all that wonderful like drama that just gets, you've been holding it in for so long, and then it just comes out and it all resolves and it's beautiful. Yes, I love how they're older. I love how they're not just, I mean, I like the younger heroines too, but this is different. This is a woman who's past her prime. She's lost her chance, basically. So I like that. And I love how love never dies in this story. It doesn't. They try to kill it, but it doesn't die. It just can't be killed. So, yeah. Okay, now for our favorites. I guess you must have guessed.
One. Yeah, if you're keeping track, you'll know.
If you're keeping track. They are...
Wrong way. All right. Persuasion is mine.
And Pride and Prejudice is mine. I followed the crowd with that one, so.
Yeah.
I guess, is it my turn to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I feel like I don't even really have to explain why this is my favorite, because, like, it's most people's favorite.
Yeah.
Not everybody's, like Naomi's, but it's most people's favorite. So, my one criticism, which I really had to think about again, was that I want to see more development of Mary and Kitty. I think both of them are very interesting characters, and I want to see a bit more about them. But I love how strongly and uniquely each character is drawn. It's funny, I'm kind of coming from the opposite perspective of Naomi, where I'm like, oh, I feel like each character is drawn, like, so well, and, like, so much detail, and I know exactly who they are. So that's kind of funny, but, and I just love Lizzie and Darcy, like, both of them, and both of them together, like, it's just, like, dynamite. It's so good. I just love them. And also, like, the thing about Pride and Prejudice that is so good is that it balances comedy and drama really well. Like, this is a comedic book. That's what it is. I know a lot of interpretations take it as a drama. It's actually a comedy with drama, not a drama with comedy.
Yeah.
So, it's so good, and I love it.
So, Persuasion, I really connect to. I read it as, like, a teenager, and then I read it again as an adult, especially, like, I think it was 26 when I read it, and now 27. It's like, I'm Anne's age. And so I really connect with that, the singleness idea. I think I love this because of just so many different things. It's so short, which may even be one of my complaints. Is that it's
too short.
Too short. I want more. I want more in a good way. One of my negatives, well, my only negative, is that I don't like the way Mr. Elliot is introduced, their cousin. I think it's too convenient. And with seeing how short it is, I feel like more could have been done to introduce him, or even just in a different way. It was very, very convenient. I don't want to give how away, but it was like, oh, magically here kind of idea. I don't really like that. As opposed to Megan, I like the letter.
No!
I think the letter is so true to character. I think it's just so true to Wentworth and to Anne. So I really like that, how it's well done. In my opinion, it's well done. And it's a different way than, like, Darcy and, like, his proposals
which also involved a letter in there, but
yes.
I like that letter.
Yeah, it's different from a lot of her other ways of doing it, I think, and I really enjoy that. I also really love how they keep making each other jealous. Anne and Frederick. You know how, like, Captain Wentworth is chasing after all the young ladies, and then Anne's being chased by someone else, and they're both jealous of each other, although Anne's not intending to make him jealous. I think it's a really nice build-up of miscommunication, and also trying to just, like, forget each other kind of idea. And then the last thing I like is how crazy Anne's family is. I just love how dynamic, like, it's so complex and so toxic, and
toxic, yeah.
I think it's just the funniest thing to read. If you're like, oh, my family's awful. It's like, really? Because Anne's family's pretty bad. Her sister's always sick in her mind.
Yeah.
The other one's always like, oh, I'm too beautiful. And then their dad's too beautiful. And like, her godmother's like, I know what's best for you, even though you don't know what's best for you. So it's just a very fun family dynamic. And I really loved reading about it, and I love how Anne is through that family experience. Yes. So that's why it's my favorite.
Yeah, so that's how we ranked them. The bottom three were the same, the top three were switched around. So, so go check out Naomi's channel, where we'll be doing a video over there all about classics as well. So, may you be filled with peace, hope, love, and joy. So take care, everyone.
Bye.